Hello, I'm Benjamin Beaver with Coldwell Banker, and I want to take a minute to talk to sellers or potential sellers in the San Angelo real estate market. As you are probably already aware, we are in what's called a seller's market, which is good for you. The market is favoring the sellers as of really about January of this year. Last year, in my opinion, 2012 was more of a buyer's market, but as you know, with the anticipated influx of people, the real estate market has really picked up. In my opinion, I'm not so sure if what we're seeing is the actual influx yet or just anticipation, but either way, it's undoubtedly here. The title companies have been setting records really since January, and every month consecutively since then, it has not slowed down. So if you're thinking about selling your house in San Angelo, I want to give you a little bit about what to expect. What we are seeing is that if you are pricing your house reasonably, and reasonably today is really the high end of what you could have shot for, say, last year. If you're pricing it reasonably, you can expect to sell it quickly. I mean, I'm talking, it's been normal to see contracts the day of the listing. Certainly the week of the listing is not unusual. But we're also seeing a lot of people really, what I say, swing for the fence. Price it as high as possible, trying to get, the greatest possible return, which you can't fault people for that. That's normal. So there's still danger in pricing your house too high, because now one thing to think about is when buyers are looking at houses, they're always considering time on the market. And as you've been a buyer before, when you are looking at houses, you ask the agent, how long has it been on the market? Because that's going to affect the way you think about it. So whereas last year, if the agent said, anywhere less than 3 months, it's still a relatively new listing. But this year, because everyone is already aware of, of the way the market is, anything longer than a month is considered a long time. And buyers start asking, what's wrong with it? They start thinking, they lose that sense of urgency. As a seller, you really want to capitalize on the buyer's sense of urgency. Really, for the first 2 weeks a house is listed, the buyer's thinking, there's probably other people that want this house. I need to put in a contract before them, and they're not going to play around trying to get you down on the price. They're going to try to put in a contract that gets accepted so they get the house. But after a month in this market, the buyer's thinking, well, there must not be a lot of other people that really want this. Maybe I'll take my time, maybe I'll aim low and try to get them to come down a little bit. And that has started a lot sooner now than it did last year, just because of the awareness of what the market is doing. So there is still danger in pricing your house too high. There's still great value in pricing it just right, which, like I said, the just right price of today is really the high end of what you could have expected last year. It's still reasonable. It still has to appraise, because most people that are buying a house are going to have a lender, and the lender is going to send out an appraiser, and they're going to make sure that they don't loan more than what the house is worth. And they're going to base that on comparable sales of recent history. So your house still has to be comparable, but it is normal to go for the high end of what you would expect, of what's reasonable, and expect to get it. But I just want to say there is still danger in going too far above that, because you don't want to lose that sense of urgency in potential buyers. Now, one more tip: if you're getting your house ready to sell, then I'd recommend, it doesn't necessarily mean you have to totally renovate the house and do all these things. Really just declutter. Clear every surface. When you're decluttering rooms, think if anything's not, if it's not helping the room, it's hurting the room. If you've got some just random furniture, sometimes it's best just to get it out if you can't reposition it in a way that looks good and has a good flow to the room. And also, one tip for the outside, if I could only give one tip: mulch. Lots of mulch. Fill every possible flower bed with mulch. Fill your containers with mulch. Get some cups and put them on your counter. Fill them with mulch. No, don't do that. But seriously, I don't think you can overboard the mulch. It really gives the house a fresh look, and if you put it thick, it just it gives a feeling of intentionality to the house. And of course, there's all kinds of other things you can do outside, but if I was just going to give a couple tips: mulch the outside, clear the surfaces on the inside, and get ready to put your house on the market. I recommend getting someone to come out and give you an idea. Every market, every area, and every price range is a little different in town. Get someone to come out and give you an idea of what to expect in your specific area. If you need a reference, I know a guy. My contact information is at the end of this video. Thanks for watching.